Hello and welcome to another edition of Micks Mowers. In today's edition we're going to be looking at spare parts, in particular second-hand spare parts that I take in from different lawnmowers that come in for part exchange. Some I just pick up out of scrap that have been donated to me, but these parts are vital in getting other lawnmowers up and running and how much money you can save in this process. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's collect some spare parts. Right, so in my last video you saw me get that little lawnmower over there up and running. I've got quite a collection in now. They're up and running now and all serviced and what have you. But I fixed that lawnmower over there, the little turquoisey colour one, up just literally out of spare parts. And I'm going to show you how I collect my spare parts and what I do. So let's get on with it. Okay, so here we have a classic 3.5 cylinder Briggs & Stratton engine, which came off a lawnmower. It came off an old Hater 41 I had, and it was just revving its head off, and no matter what I did to it I just couldn't get it to behave itself. So the engine was outed. I think it had something internally gone. I tried everything I know, but since then this engine has been used for spare parts and bits and pieces. So to begin with, we're going to undo this little weather vane, and what I use is a big tub here, and I use a little Chinese takeaway pot. Last night we had pork rice, which was very nice indeed. So all my little nuts and bolts go into the little tiny tubs, and then we'll all the big bits, so the nuts go into there and the weather vane goes in there. They're about £3 or £4 on eBay. We'll also remove the coil, which is going to be on there tight because it hasn't been off for a little while. So the engine definitely revved and definitely fired. I don't suspect it to be the coil, but the coil was good, so that I do know. Just wants a bit of a tidy up, a bit of a clean. So again, the nut goes in and the coil comes out. Coils go for anywhere between £10 to £20, somewhere in that region. Next, on top of that, we want to take the manifold off. In that manifold, there's 2 bolts or 2 nuts. Undo them, and they go for, I say eBay, that's pretty much the best marketplace to pick these second-hand bits up, but we are available other places. But these go for about £5. So far we've got about 20 odd pound, £25 in a pot already. Nuts come off, that goes in. Then you got the breather pipe. They just unscrew. Just get a bit of a twist to start it off. It will come. I'm ready to get a bigger pair of pliers on it. There it goes. It just unscrews. They're a couple of quid. Just get a bit of rag just for cleaning as we go. I've got one to hand. Just to knock some of that grime off. That goes in the pot. You've then got your oil reservoir. That goes in the pot. They're 2 or 3 quid. We've also got on the bottom your engine bolts. There's one spare one there. That one doesn't want to come out by the looks of it. A bit of persuasion maybe. No, that's staying where it is. There's a key waver to come out there as well. We've had a bit of a tap, just to loosen him and get underneath it. Keyway, that goes in nuts and bolts. On the front of this you've got the guard assembly for your linkage, so that's a keeper. That looks probably be about a 13.5 inch, I would say. Let's try. It might be a bit bigger actually. No, it's not. Let's try a 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch it is. Ratchet. That's one. They're well on there. They all come off. That's it. That's all three broken. Let's unrun them. The carburetor tank is somewhere else for this engine. So bolts go into there. I don't break these all the way down, but I just take off the necessities that I need, because these break across here. So let's get that undone. And they go for about 3 or 4 quid. Next, there's another keyway up in here, which is what I want out of here. So I'm gonna get my my gun and run that off into reverse. That flies off. That goes on there. That can be loose. So that cup that goes in there. They're 3 or 4 quid. I don't want a bit of a tap now. We're not keeping this, so I'm not overly concerned about the damage. But just put a screwdriver underneath the alley part, and that wants a bit of encouragement with the best friend. Just to get him off, so he hasn't been off for a little while, this one I dare say. I'm going down the side. Just to encourage him up. Somewhere there. There it comes. So the flywheel I keep is off a 3.5 Briggs. Comes with a Briggs and Stratton. They're about 3 quid a go, them ones. That's lovely. Next in line is going to be this Dead Man's Handle micro switch. They're worth having. Slightly bigger socket than them. Probably that one. That's him. Again, that one a socket put on it. The ratchet, it's not been on my tight. Just crack him off just to get him started. Goes in there. That one in there. And there's your switch. And it's actually got a cable on it, but the cable is seized, I would dare say. Let's have a look. My other cable does run. It's got a few frays on it, but it runs, so it'll be kept. All you've got to do is just get a pair of pliers, unhook it from that part there. Let's get it off of there first. Squeeze him in just to release him, and then just manipulate that cable out. That's it. Cables are being kept. £15 a go. They go somewhere else in my shed. I don't just keep the cables in the box. But micro switch, they're £4 or £5 a go. Next will be the actual exhaust itself. And all we're doing with the exhaust is we're going to bend these tabs up so they're away without stabbing myself in the hand. Just bend them away on each side like so. Get a socket on those two. I've got one turning. He's coming. Been on a little while, that has. So let me just tap that nut out. Here comes the other one. Not giving up, because these are worth £15–20 if anyone's money on the selling sites. That one now comes off. It's a bit dirty in there, but it is an exhaust, so you would expect it to be. So there's the exhaust. A little guard on there. Let me just punch that pin out. Another bolt. That's good. What else can we have off of it? Little valve covers. That can come off as well. So keep that. Slightly too big. That one possibly. That's him. I don't go much more than this generally. I've already had the pull cord assembly off of it. I've got the tank and carb as well, and the air filter. But these are all the little tiny bits and pieces that we struggle to find. And a bit of a clean up. £2. A bit of a clean up. They all come up all right. There's a valve cover. A couple of quid. I shan't take the valves out because I say this engine had a problem in here somewhere. Something gone adrift. But I shall leave the valves be. Anything else you want? I'll leave the head on, that's fine. Don't need any of that. Heat shield. That's a little tiny nut underneath there, which you get to by that hole. That can come off. Pair of snips. £50p. I think we're about there. So that's all I'll take off for these. That engine is now good to go down the tip. That's that one. Let's bring in a mower. Okay, and here's a mower we took the engine off of to put on that turquoise one. But there's still a few good spares on here to be had off. So number one is we can take off the dead man's handle. Couple of quid. We also want to take off the cable as well, which is running here all the way up to the handle. So just a pair of snips or screwdriver, take the cable ties off. One, two. Just release that from the mechanism. And there's another cable there, which is free running. It wasn't on the mower the other day. That's all free running. Yeah, £15 they are. I've had 2 cables already. That's 30 quid. 30 quid saved already. Can you believe it? Crazy. Right, what's next? So next is going to be these arm assemblies. These are priceless in my eyes. Absolutely priceless, because you are always looking for these parts, so never ever throw these away. Pound. That one. £2. The arm, £5. I've got a stack of them. Next we move on to this assembly. These are priceless as well. You can never have enough of these. These are going in my in my pork rice dish. There you go in there. There's not one other side, there's a nut the other side, so I'll get my ratchet and undo the other side. Come on round with me. Just drop it down a smidge. Get you in. Somewhere in there. It's going to be a ½ inch or somewhere along that line, yeah, somewhere there. Start to run him off. Got a ½ inch socket on the back of it, which is that one. So undo it might help. Screws fingers. These are not compatible with all lawnmowers, but you can bet your bottom dollar to a barn dance they're compatible to the one you haven't got a bit for. And these could do for engine bolts if they fit. Anything along that line. No great value behind them, but as I say, if you need a bolt, they're priceless. Goes in the old dish. Same with this one. Right, back round the other side. We've got one more here to do. Down it goes. And also it keeps it all out of landfill. Good recycling source. So people may comment that you don't use brand new parts when you're servicing, when you're doing maintenance, what have you, but this is keeping the economy going. You know, this is keeping stuff out of out of landfill and recycling. So what better than that? Next, move on to this assembly, and all we're going to do here, literally, is take that spring out of there, take the spring out of there. That'll separate up, and that comes off. So we've got a complete flap system. As long as the width is the same, that now will fit any grass box that I fit to it. So there, a couple of quid. Right, we're getting down to the nuts and bolts of it now. So look at these wheels. Right, moving on to the wheels. Literally, find a little tiny cutout just here, just to remove the old wheel trim, just like on a car. Pop them off. They all clean up with wire wool, so just they go in the tub. Should be ½ inch again, I'd say, and just start to crack that off. There's a washer behind there. Keep that. That one comes off. So that goes together. But we're going to put it all together in a minute. Now underneath the lawnmower, you'll have another ½ inch assembly. You'll have a nut, and get you up in there. Let it sit still for long enough. Let me take it off the old camera, off the old tripod. You've got a little tiny ½ inch nut assembly in there. Undo that, and that whole assembly will come off. Simple and easy. Just repeat that process 4 times. So where's my 1/2 inch spanner gone that I had? I'm working faster than what I can cope with at the moment, so I should slow down a bit. So 1/2 inch goes underneath, socket drive on the top, you've been on there a little while, probably since day one. There he goes, loosen him up, get him running. Here he comes. That all comes off together. There's a washer behind there as well. That all comes off. All we then do is lift the whole assembly up, put your washer back on, 2 washers, and your nut. That all goes back on together. Then get your wheel. That goes back on the assembly arm with the washer, with the nut. You might need one of these just to get you out the old brown stuff. If you get a lawnmower come up for sale on Facebook Marketplace or something that's missing a wheel, you've got a spare. That goes in the old box. All we're going to do is take the lawnmower back on the other side, get the screwdriver, and just repeat that process. So let me get these 4 wheels off. Right, I'm just down to the last wheel now. Then let's see what sort of spares we got off this little engine. There it goes. The back ones are always harder to get off because that's where the bulk of the grass goes. But they do come. A bit of WD-40 if need be, just to shoot that on there. But they will all come off, he says. That all comes off. There's a deck. That can go down out of the way. That's no good for nothing. 2 washers. And that with a bit of grass. Set that back on there. That's it. And the wheel. If I keep it all together, you can do a quick easy fix. Right, let's line it all up and see what we got. Right. So what have we got? We've got a bag collection flap. So if you have a lawnmower and you don't have a box to fit it, as long as the width is correct, you can now fit this to your other lawnmower, and the box that came with it, which is over there, that will then become suitable to use for that. We've got 4 wheels, 4 covers, pull cord assembly, carburetor tank, exhaust. The clamper goes round the side of the flywheel. The head gasket bracket that goes on the top of the head gasket, oil filler, the micro switch, dead man's handle, heat shield, 2 brackets that go on the top, valve cover guide, inlet fuel, manifold, pipe, the wind vane, the flywheel cup, flywheel housing, flywheel itself, and the ignition coil. Not to mention all the other bits and pieces that we got off of here, all the nuts and bolts, all the keyways, all that sort of stuff. So I think in total, you know, you're looking at around about. Oh, don't forget we've also got the handle as well, plus the cable. So all in all, I'd say you're looking at around about. If you just sell it all on eBay, list it separately, you can probably get about £100 for the whole lot. So a lawnmower cost a £5, not only with a donor engine lawnmower body, which I already had in. We've got a lawnmower there which I got for £5, which I should probably sell for around about £60 to £70 fully serviced. I've got a lawnmower box, all these spares, all ready to go for this season. So, you know, for a person like me that does lawnmowers, this is a lawnmower gold mine. These are bits that we just don't throw away. We just keep for such emergencies. Okay, so in one of my other videos, I picked up 2 mount fields. This is the second one. I originally picked up the mount field, which was, I believe it is this one actually. Hasn't been started now for about a week. Let's just try and fire it. There should be fuel in there. Just had the paint damage on the front, do you remember? Yeah, there's fuel in there. Let's give it a fire, see what happens. That was the one that was over revving, and there was that little cable on the governor arm. But this is his buddy. Now, I didn't pick this one up originally, but this was just sat by the side of his garage, and I said, well, what are you doing with that one? And he starts going down a tip. It's had it. It's got a big hole in it. But I'm just wondering, do I scrap it out for spares, or do I see if it fires? Because if it fires, I'll have it off, and I've got all them spares in there, which will help. It's got all the governor springs to it. They're all on there. In a bit of disarray, but they are on there. The link has just fallen off. Put that in the old tub. So it's all there, apart from the fuel tank. I'm just going to take the spark plug out, shoot some carburetor fluid down the side of it, see if I can get it to turn over and fire. If it fires, it stands half a chance. Now, I'm not going to run it for too long because we are missing certain components. So let me get some carburetor spray and see if it'll fire. As I say, I don't want to get too involved with it unless I know it's actually going to fire. So I've done nothing to this engine, as you can see. I mean, all this here needs replacing. It's all falling apart, but it may just take a quick fire. Let's have this plug out. The plug doesn't look like it's been out since day one, and it's all corroded and all oiled up. Let's just check the oil very quickly. It might work. Yeah, it's got oil in there. About halfway up. As I say, I'm not too concerned because it may just be one for parts, but let's give that half a chance. Let's just shoot some up in there. I just want to see if it'll turn. If it turns over, I'll have it off, and we'll fix this one up as well, and that'll give me a spare engine for when another one comes in that's knackered. This is all live. This isn't premeditated. I haven't touched this engine. It's been sat out in the rain. I haven't done nothing with it. So let's have a quick look. Dead man's handle works. It's just about clearing. So here we go. Yeah, that works. So I don't want to run it too much because the likelihood it's just going to fall apart on me. The whole lot is shot. So, but you heard it fire. So the next video I'm hoping will be to take this engine off and get it ready, get it all sorted out, ready for the next lawnmower that comes in. So that'll be the next one. Okay, so firstly, I would just like to add that you should not attempt to start up a lawnmower that is in that style of condition. If it had a fuel tank on it, I most certainly would not have run it with fresh fuel inside. I'd have gone down the carburetor, down the head stage. I wanted that lawnmower just to run just for no more than 1 or 2 seconds, because if it ran for any more, I don't know what quite the outcome would have been. I could have hurt myself in any way. So don't do as I do. This is for information only, unless you are competent and you know what you're doing. So all in all, we had a lawnmower that I paid £5 Part X for, done an engine transplant on. That lawnmower's not up for sale, between £60 and £70 in the height for season, somewhere in there. That's brilliant. But off of the engines that I had just laying around, and off of a lawnmower, I managed to salvage some crucial parts that I would need for this season coming up. Wheels, height adjusters, handlebars, dead man's handles, cables, you name it, it's all now in the tub. And I've now also got another little mount field that possibly I can take the engine off of and work on that, at least get it up and running, get it in a serviceable state where when another lawnmower comes in and the engine has completely had it, or missing parts that I can't sort of get hold of quickly, I can bolt the engine straight to it with a boss as well, and away we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope also you found it sort of, you know, information of value to you, because never ever look to gift horse in the mouth. It has some vital parts on these lawnmowers, parts that on eBay or Amazon or wherever, new or second hand, they go for a pretty penny, and we're trying to get as much profit out of these lawnmowers as possible. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Micks Mowers, and I will see you very, very soon. Catch you later.